So for this project, you're going to start by folding the fabric into 4. As you can see, it's double, so 4 pieces. So I'm going to start by measuring the neck. This is folded into 4. The open side is on this side. So this is the next area on the folded side. So I'm going to use your standard measurement, which is 3.5 inches for the neckline. And I'm also going to use 3.5 inches down. I'm going to slightly curve that to make the neck. Now I'm going to measure from the shoulder to the bust. I'm going to measure 10.5 inches and mark that across. Also from the shoulder to the waist, I'm going to measure 18 inches and I'm going to mark that across. And for the bodice length, I'm going to measure 27 inches and 1 inch for hem, which is 28 inches. So 28 inches at the bottom to the length of the blouse. I'm going to mark that straight across. Now I'm going to measure the sleeve. From the shoulder, I'm going to measure 20 inches. And then I'm going to measure 6 inches for the cuff and 1/2 inch for stitching allowance. And then from the waist, for the bust, I'm going to measure 11 inches and 1/2 inch for stitching allowance. For the waist, I'm going to measure the same thing. And I'm going to connect it, that line to the end of the blouse. Then I'm going to make a curve for the end of the sleeve. I'm going to connect those lines like this. On the end of the sleeve, I'm going to put a line straight across. Now I'm going to cut it. So I'm going to cut like this. So your blouse should be looking like this when you finish cut. Now I'm going to straighten at the bottom to the length of the blouse. So that's all the measurement you need for this. So now we're gonna start sewing it. "19" by 3.5". So I'm serging. The first thing I'm gonna do is serge it around. So it's easier to stitch. So I already changed the needle. I put a ballpoint needle. I'm going to start off by making the band. I'm going to start off by making the band for the blouse. I'm going to make a stitch. I'm also going to stitch it here. I'm using 1/4 inch of a seam allowance for the band. So I already went ahead and did the band and I pressed it. So I'm going to start sewing the blouse now. So I already serged the edges of the blouse. So for the neckline, I'm going to fold and stitch. So I'm going to stitch around the neckline. So now that I finished stitching the neckline, I'm gonna add the band. I made a notch here, so I'm gonna add the band. So I'm gonna stitch it. So I'm stitching at the front of the blouse. I'm going to stitch the other side. Now you want to stitch the sides ½ inch. You're going to stitch the sides ½ inch all the way down to the end of the blouse, starting with the sleeve, and you're going to start stitching. So back stitch, and you're going to do that for both sides. ½ inch seam allowance. So I went ahead and I did the hem of the bottom. So now I'm going to put ½ inch hem on the sleeve. So after stitching the bottom, we're going to put ½ inch hem on the sleeve. And with the sleeve, I'm going to leave an opening because I'm going to put elastic. 1/4 inch elastic to put on the sleeve. So I'm going to put the elastic on the sleeve where I stitch on both sleeves. So I have